Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to call the Caroline County Board of Supervisors May 12th, 2015 meeting to order. Board members present: Mr. Floyd Thomas, representing the Mattapanai District; Mr. Jeff Black, representing the Western Caroline District; Mr. Reggie Underwood, representing the Reedy Church District; Mr. Akers, representing the Madison District; Mr. Jeff Seeley, representing the Bowling Green District; and I'm Calvin Taylor. I represent the Port Royal District. At this time, I would ask Mr. Seeley if he would give us invocation, and if we could stand, please.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we go about the county's business tonight, guide us in a way that will make the Caroline County citizens, the county, and all the surrounding areas notice that we do care and we try to do the right thing for the folks that live here in everything we look at and talk about. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any amendments to the agenda at this time, Mr. Collins?
Mr. Thomas had asked us to add a resolution on for, I don't have that right in front of me, Reverend
Berman's 35th anniversary.
Okay.
And we could add that to the consent agenda?
That'll be fine. You had talked to me about that. I think that's fine. Okay, any other amendment?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Moving on to opening board comments. Mr. Thomas, do you have any opening board comments at this time?
I do have one. I'm just trying to find it, Mr. Chairman. There was a Senate bill passed that actually takes effect in July, and it was in regard to line item budgets from school systems. Yes. And that, are you aware of that, Mr. Collins?
No, I wasn't either.
It's Senate Bill 1286, and I don't think that affects us now, but I just wanted to double check to make sure that was actually something that was true and not something I just heard.
We can certainly check it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. Black, do you have opening board comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have several. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Ron Curlings and the Wounded Warriors. They had their Wounded Warrior event down at Mount Olympus Farms several weeks ago, and that's really a great success to see the soldiers fishing. They really have a good time, a lot of camaraderie there. So I think it's something that Caroline can be proud of, and so I think that's something that we need to keep on supporting. I would like to thank the Economic Development, Mr. Wilson and his staff. Did an amazing job for the John Wilkes Booth events in Caroline for the 150th anniversary of the assassination of Lincoln. The actors were unbelievable, and I actually got picked on a little bit, so that was kind of interesting. I would also like to thank staff for they put together, I had asked, you guys probably see a timeline in regards to, I've heard a lot of discussion about the schools and the building of the schools and the capital projects. So staff spent a lot of time, I understand that, on a very, very detailed timeline since basically the event, the vote took place in November of 13 of what has happened or not happened with the project. The intention was not to pick on any entity whatsoever. It was just to make it very, very clear. I think staff put together an 11-page report, what has happened at Board of Supervisors meetings, what has happened at school board meetings, and where we might be going from here, but I hope that the press can get a copy of that as well, so that there's can be some clarification of what has happened and what has not happened. Another thing I would like to ask staff for, and I guess it's something we need to look on or look at, is I've had a property in the Charlesburg region of my district that has had I guess the property has been foreclosed and the the lawn has not been mowed in over a year. And I understand it's in the Rural Preservation District, and so I understand there's certain limitations. It is next to the only storefront business that I have in my district, next to the old Moore store. And I'm just seeing if we can figure something out to get that, that grass cut, because I'm sure the business is not happy with having chin-high grass next to the store. So if there's anything that we can do to figure out how to get that grass cut, that would be appreciated. Finally, on a personal note, Dr. Anderson, the school board member from my district, her husband passed away last night. And so I just, he was very close with a lot of people. Scotty, he really liked you a lot, and I wish Kevin was here, but he was a really good guy for our community, so that's all. Thank you. Steve Wilkerson. His name was Steve Wilkerson. Thank you.
Mr. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just two brief comments. I just wanted to say I attended the Caroline County Schools art show 2 weeks ago, and I think there was some fabulous art by our young people. So I don't know if anybody else had a chance to see some of the art, but it was really fantastic. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you to Sheriff Lippa and Mr. Cully and Mr. Miller for attending my constituent meeting to discuss the upcoming bike race that will have an impact on the residents of Reedy Church. I think the residents definitely support it. They see the good that can come out of it. So it was, they understand there may be some inconveniences, but we just believe we can work through that. So it was good to know that we could work together, come together and talk about whether we disagree, how to make it better for the county. Since that is going to be a national event, I think we need to do all that we can to make sure that we are seen in the best light possible. So,
Thank you,
thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Akers?
No comments.
Mr. Sealy?
I just want to say that we had the Festival of Feet in Bowling Green. It was a little cloudy, a little cool, but a great day. A lot of folks got out, walked, ran. Great event for the town and for the county, I believe. And we actually had a skeet shoot that afternoon at at Salem Church down in Sparta, and a very interesting event and very well-run event. And I think it's an interesting fundraiser for any organization that has that kind of space. And I just wanted to say they did an excellent job all the way around. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We'll just reiterate the success of the John Welch booth presentation, and again, thanks to the tourism and economic development people for all the hard work that they did. And as chair of the board and coming from the board, would like to offer our condolences again to Dr. Anderson and the passing of her husband. Having said that, that will take us to presentations and reports. Our first recognition of today is to Ms. Sherry Gravitt for service on the Germana Community College Board of Directors. I would just like to read your recognition or your resolution, and then after that, Ms. Gravitt, feel free to come forward and we will present this to you at that time. But this is a resolution of appreciation for Mrs. Sherry Gravitt for her service on the Germana Community College Board of Directors. Whereas Mrs. Sherry Gravitt represented Caroline County on the Germana Community College Board of Directors from July 1, 2007 to June 30th, 2015. And whereas community colleges serve a particularly important role in rural communities such as Caroline County, providing both an affordable gateway to a college degree and critical vocational education and workforce development opportunities. And whereas Mrs. Gravitt has voluntarily devoted her time, knowledge, and leadership to serve in the Caroline County in this important capacity for 8 years and helped to shape the growth and direction of Germana Community College during that time. And whereas the citizens of Caroline County have benefited from Mrs. Gravitt's commitment to higher education, Now therefore be it resolved that the Caroline County Board of Supervisors hereby extends its appreciation to Mrs. Shirley Gravitt for her outstanding service to Caroline County and extends its best wishes to her for continued success in all future endeavors. It's adopted this 12th day of May, 2015. Charles M. Cully Jr., Clerk of the Board, and Calvin B. Taylor, Senior, Chairman. So, Ms. Gravitt, if you would come forth at this time so we can recognize you. And I would also like to add that she would still be serving, but you can only serve 8 years. So since you can only serve 8 years, she has to come off.
And mention the fact that while she was serving, she helped bring Germanna to Carolina.
Exactly. She was very portable in bringing Germanna to Caroline.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Yes. No, well, that's okay. That's all right. I just have a few quick words. Thank you to the supervisors and administration for allowing me to serve Germanna Community College and represent the citizens of Caroline County. I started when Dr. Sam came on board 8 years ago, worked through seeing Germanna grow with their building and development, and I'm so proud that I'm ending my term with Germanna coming to Caroline County. So thank you so much. Okay, sure.
You want to take this first?
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Thank you so much. Oh, one more. Step it down a little bit. Okay.
That's good.
Oh, right there, okay, we got it.
Get a little reflection. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have another one? We have another one? We got that, sure? Oh, yeah. I thought they were next.
Our next agenda item is the recognition of winner of Crime Stoppers Poster Contest of the Caroline County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff, you come forth at this time.
Missed me when I called.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I just want to take this opportunity, as we had joined the Metro Richmond Crime Stoppers about a year ago. And in doing so, they had an art contest that went on, Mr. Underwood, in case you were up there to see this. And it was done within Caroline High School. We had judges of Lieutenant Nutter, Richie Anderson, and the art teacher, was it Becky? Yes, so Katie Bolts. So they came up with the winner, and in Caroline High, I'd like to present this to Mark. Come on up. I guess we'll do it up there too, gentlemen. Mark, you did win this, and come on to this other side for me, and we're going to go up there too, and we're going to bring as many. And this is presented to Mark P. Lovin II, 2015 Caroline County Sheriff's Office Crime Stopper Poster Contest winner. And as a result of winning, he also gets a check from Metro Richmond Crime Stoppers for $500. Congratulations. And would you all like to do that? And
Yeah, you can come up and bring him up on stage.
bring your mom, and let's bring school representatives that are here too, all the school
Anyone that
representatives.
wants to come.
Yes, come on.
Mark? Mark?
Up this way.
I've got like 5 almost.
Again, Mark, on behalf of the board, we would like to congratulate you on that accomplishment. Did a great job, and we're proud of you. And board members, you can shake hands with the board members, they would like to do that, and along with your other entourage as well.
Where do you want it?
Between the flags. If we could just move over and take a group picture between the flags, that'll work.
Okay, we've got quite a few. Sir, can we move over in the corner right here?
Whatever you
There's
say.
so many.
Okay.
Okay.
Board members?
Okay. Start. Major Moser. Move it on over. Bring it right around. Bring the whole group right around. Yeah, that's it. We'll make it as quick as we can. Okay. Okay. We're still going to have to bring it around. I can't see Mr. There we go. Okay. Ma'am, just an inch to my left. Ma'am. Okay. And then Mr. That's to my left. That's it. Now I'll get back here and see if it still works out the same. Oh, Mr. Underwood, move to my right. A little more. Yeah.
Now we got to keep Mark on the stage.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh. The chair.
This is always tough. Always tough.
All right, that'll do the trick. All right, nice smile right here. Great. Okay, let me take a couple more just to kind of beat the blank. One more yet. And one more just to. Great. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Congratulations.
Don't hate me because of that.
That's what makes me. This brings us to our next agenda item, which is an update on Caroline High School and Madison Elementary School's capital projects. Mr. Sporling, Chairman of the Caroline County School Board, and anyone else who needs to come with him.
You want the report first?
Whatever you want to do, it's up to you.
All right. George Spalding, Bowling Green District. CHS and Madison update on April 26 OWPR and staff and a team from Honeywell met in Staunton to review the technology package included by Honeywell and to coordinate the contract drawings and specifications. The technology package included intrusion, detection and access control of fire alarm and building automation. A pre-bid meeting was held on April 23rd, 2015. 12 general contractors on the high school, 14 general contractors on Madison. Addendums 1, 2, and 3, and 4 have been issued, responding to questions and clarifications submitted by OWPR and by contractors over the past 5 weeks. Addendum 5 will be issued today and will be included in a 1-week bid date extension approved by the school board. This was requested by 3 large mechanical contractors due to the complexity of the phasing of the new HVAC system at CHS. DEQ update. On Tuesday, 4/28/15, we visited both sites to perform field work documenting the downstream channels, taking measures, and checking elevations. We assembled information with regard to the soils on the downstream areas, compiling and organizing the data for each study point, and create a draft of our approach to the downstream areas. A draft was forwarded to DEQ on Thursday morning on 5/17/15 for them to look over. That afternoon, we had a joint phone call with both reviewers at DEQ. They both agreed the design and site plans did not require any changes, that we will not be any downstream channel improvement required. We are using DEQ calculation to send a set of calculations for one study point to them so that they could see where the issue could be. Once that issue is resolved, we will finalize calculations and all remaining DEQ review that cannot be addressed before bids are due.
Okay. Board members have questions for Mr. Spaulding? Mr. Thomas?
Mr. Spaulding, I understand from your comments, we do not have final DEQ approval.
No, but they're getting close.
Okay. So we
And
do not have...
I mean, they're talking, and it's down to, I don't know how to put this technically, but they're close.
Okay. But since we don't have final approval, is there any...
OWPR is guaranteed to pay any change orders that result from DEQ review if they cannot be addressed before bids are due.
Well, Mr. Whiteman's not here, but Mr. Whiteman and I were actually at the pre-bid, and Mr. Jones told us that. So I take it he gave you something in writing that says that? Could I see that?
Yeah.
I'm from Missouri. Could I see that?
We don't have we can get a copy for you. We do have it in writing from him.
You do have it in writing?
Yes, do not have it with us.
Okay, and he has said that he would guarantee
It's
any additional cost.
It's in our notes from last night's meeting. He agreed to it.
Is that part of your contract now?
Yeah, it's part of the contract, isn't it?
We have a letter from him stating that that they will be responsible for any change orders.
Any change orders.
If they cannot be addressed before the bid is due.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that something, an addendum to your contract or whatever needs to be done to make sure that happens, if there is an extra cost, but...
Well, if I may, if I could just request, whatever documentation that you have regarding that, if you could send it to the board, then staff would make sure that board members get a copy of it.
I don't need a copy, I just wanted to see that. I mean, I just wanted to see what he put in writing, because he actually told me something. So I wanted to see if what he told me was what he put in writing.
Okay.
You just stated that, so, I mean, you can send it to the board, if the board wants it, that's fine. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other board questions? Oh, Mr. Black?
What is, and I think I asked this at the last meeting, what is your goal for the timeline for Madison to be completed? I mean, completed? Construction completion?
16, 17, what is it?
What is,
I can't remember now. It's 17, beginning of 17.
Madison is 12 months complete.
Completion date on Madison should be the end of July of next year.
So construction will begin sometime this fall, I would imagine, or
Sometime this summer, yes.
sometime this summer, and then it will be a year in construction from Madison.
Basically a year. Right.
So in the next, not this coming school year, but the next school year, the kids will have,
There's not that major, it's not like the high school.
right, and I was going to get, that was the next jump I was going to make. What are the plans for the beginning of the high school construction and the end? What are the goals?
Same thing, we
So this would-
should break ground this summer
Okay,
and then be completed. I don't remember the exact date, I don't think it's July 30th, but it should be before or right at the start of school,
17.
so it's both are only, the high school is only going to be a year?
No, it's a 2-year project.
Oh, the 17, okay, okay. All right, thank you. All right, yeah, all right. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Underwood? Okay, Mr. Akers?
Mr. Spalding, I would only ask, and I'm sure you probably have already, got it. That's the problem. But maybe you ought to make sure to address Mr. Thomas's concerns, and I agree with that. That's something we do. Yeah, I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
The handheld mic was on.
Try it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All I was saying was the fact you may want to have your attorneys look at that right out. Make sure that it does not have to be added to, as an addendum to the contract, or if it does need to be added as an addendum to the contract. I agree with what Mr. Thompson said. We need to make sure that,
Right.
over the years, I have heard people say, we'll do this and we'll do that, and even in writing, but if it's not part of the contract, it may be difficult to enforce.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I may add something to that. Randy he's gone above and beyond on a lot of things that he hadn't even charged us for. I mean, things that anybody else would have.
I understand that.
But I understand, we'll do that.
Okay. Is that all, Mr. Akers?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Seeley?
I don't have any comments, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I don't have any comments. I think the questions have been answered, so. And I don't know what the deal is with the PA tonight, but anyway, we appreciate you being here, and we thank you for your answers. And if there are things that the board needs to know or that we need to do to assist in any way, we work together. Just let us know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to the update on the Caroline County Children's Dental Program. Dr. Elizabeth Barrett.
I have a presentation. That should be right on here. Okay. My name is Elizabeth Barrett, and I'm the dentist, been the dentist at the Caroline Children's Dental Program for the past 4 years. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to provide you with an update on how our program is doing, and also to thank you for all the help that you've given the program since its inception. Okay, I have to make sure I know which is the escape on that. Enter. Okay. The Caroline Children's Dental Program was started in 2003 as part of the Caroline Health Department. And it was really the school nurses who identified the need in the school children of Caroline at that time. They were seeing too many children who had toothaches, were coming to them in pain, and they didn't have anyone to refer the children to. And so that's really how the program got started, which I think probably some of you were probably even involved in at the time. We provide dental care for children aged 1 to 19 years, and we provide comprehensive services, everything from exams and checkups. We emphasize education. We're really trying to educate the children and their families about how to take care of their teeth. We do all the preventive care, fluoride, sealants on permanent molars to prevent cavities. If children already have cavities, we do fillings and caps, extractions if they're needed. In 2013, we became part of the Central Virginia Health Services when the Health Department got out of the business of providing dental care to the children in Caroline County. And that's, I guess, might have been the last time there was a presentation about the program, and it was certainly under very different circumstances when we were trying to stay alive, basically. So that's why I wanted to come today, to thank you for your help and to show you that things are going pretty well. In case you're not familiar, the Central Virginia Health Services is a private nonprofit. They have 15 community health centers around the state. The other one in this area is the Caroline Family Practice, which is in Bowling Green next to the Rite Aid. They also provide dental services, but primarily to adults. So obviously we have a strong partnership with the county and the Board of Supervisors and the county administration. On a day-to-day basis, our main working partnership is with the Caroline Public Schools. One of the key factors of our program is that we provide transportation to and from dental appointments from the public schools. We go to all the schools, all the elementary schools, the middle school, and the high school. The school board provides us with an outstanding driver, Mr. George Seal, and he transports the children with the parents' permission. And of course, parents have the option to bring their children to the dental appointments just like they would do for any other medical or health appointment. We accept all forms of insurance, Medicaid and Famous, if you're not familiar with those. Those are government-sponsored insurances, and they are excellent insurance for children. They provide complete dental care. There's no co-pays or deductibles or anything like that. We accept private insurance, and we have children who have no insurance. For children with no insurance, they may qualify for discounted fees based on their family income. This is a graph that shows the number of children, Caroline children, seen each year. And started in 2006. Remember, the program started started in 2003. So you can see the numbers going up on the number of kids seen. Almost 700 in 2009. That valley that you see in 2011, that's because there was a 6-month gap between dentists. Dr. Nancy Cole, who started the program and who was with it until early 2011, she left in early 2011, and I started in late 2011. So there's really only been 2 dentists in the program since its inception. And you can see that we're building back up again, and we're almost at 700 patients again come 2014. This is the 2014 data from our program. Those 677 patients had almost 1,600 dental visits, which averages to 2.3 visits per child. So that means that children who are in good shape might just need to come once. Other children per year, or once or twice a year, children who come into us with a mouthful of cavities might need 3 or 4 appointments to take care of their problems. 86% of our kids have Medicaid or Famous, 7% have private insurance, and 7% are uninsured. This graph pie chart is of the ages of the children seen in 2014, and I tried to divide up the ages so they roughly represent the school level that the child is in. I don't know if I can, I guess there's no pointer, right? Whoa, now I got to go backwards. I'm not sure I know how to do that. Okay. So I'll just go by the color here. So like the blue would be the under 5 of the preschool. The next color, kind of orangey red, would represent roughly the elementary ages. And then you can see that most of our patients are elementary school children. The numbers of children that we see really drop off when you get to the middle school and the high school. That is a concern to me that I'll talk about a little bit more. And we do see some kids who are over 18. If the child's been in our program and now he's in college or maybe starting out in the world, we don't just cut them off. We might see them for a few more years until they're 20, 21, something like that. I wanted to just briefly mention what the early child visit is, because sometimes when I say we see children at age 1, we get a raised eyebrow, like what would you do with a 1-year-old child in the dental chair? But actually these visits are key to the long-term dental health of many children. And it is the current recommendation by all of the dental societies and professional societies, and also from the pediatricians, that children should have their first dental visit within 6 months of the eruption of their first tooth, or by age 1. And this picture shows on the left, the woman in blue is a dental provider. The other person is the mom. This child is a little older than 1, obviously, but these appointments are very simple. The mom is holding the child. The dental provider takes a quick look around and has an I'm sorry, so the dental provider takes a quick look in the mouth to identify if there are any problems, are the teeth developing normally? If there is a problem, is there something that can be not done to prevent it from getting worse and kind of nip it in the bud? And the key thing about these visits is an opportunity to speak face-to-face with parents and guardians of young children and explain to them what they can do to get so their child can have healthy teeth throughout their life. This is what we like to see. These are probably about 3-year-olds, and so what we want to see is on the left-hand side, which is bright, shiny teeth. You don't have to be a dentist to look at the child on the, I'm sorry, that's the left-hand side. The child on the right-hand side, you don't have to be a dentist to see that this child has a lot of dental problems. At this age, this child will probably have to be referred to a specialist who can put the child to sleep under general anesthesia to work on the teeth. The child may end up losing teeth. And the most likely cause of this is that the child went to bed with a bottle that had milk or juice in it, or it could be from sipping on that sippy cup all day long. So, like I said, I've been the dentist for 4 years, and I've seen some problems with dental care in Caroline County, or dental problems, I guess, in Caroline County. I'm only talking about the kids now, I'm not talking about adults. Many children are still not getting dental care. The next statistic basically proves that. This is from the state Medicaid office, from DMAS. And there are, in the county, so this is not my data, this is from the state, there are 33,550 children who have Medicaid or famous insurance. And of these, and remember, that's the insurance that provides full coverage for all the dental needs. Of these almost 3,600 kids, only about half of them in FY14, which was the last state fiscal year, received any dental services at all. So that means there's 1,700 children in the county with full dental insurance who are not receiving any care at all. And as a result, there are children presenting with toothaches, still presenting with toothaches and severe cavities. And as I mentioned before, young children and older teens are least likely to go to the dentist. This again is from the state data, and I'm going to explain the slide because it's not really straightforward, I don't think. But so what it is showing is that I mentioned there's 3,600 kids with Medicaid. If you look, for example, at the age 1 to 2, only 27% of the children aged 1 to 2 who have Medicaid are going to the dentist. So that means there's like another 300 or so children in that age group, the key age group that we want to identify so that we can get kids started off right, who aren't seeing a dentist at all. That was in fiscal year 14. And you can see that the percentages and numbers of kids going to the dentist goes up with age, and then there's that drop-off. If 15 to 18 is roughly high school, only about half the high school children who have Medicaid or famous are getting to the dentist at all. This slide is the tragedy that can happen without dental care. Some of you may remember this story because, tragically, this child became headline news because he died from a dental infection. This is Diamantri Drive. All of the words on this slide and the picture are from the Washington Post. I just picked them out. And this child, at age 12, he had a tooth that developed a cavity at some point. The cavity became infected. The infection spread through the tissues into his brain. That picture there shows an obviously ill child who has had brain surgery to try to save his life, but he was not saved. He did die from his infection. Fortunately, this is not a common occurrence, but just last week, we had an 11-year-old walk into our office. His jaw was swollen out to here on the lower jaw, huge. And if that infection had gone this way instead of that way, or if the infection was allowed to stay longer, it could have spread down into his throat, closed off his breathing passages, and a similar tragedy can happen from that. Fortunately, he has been treated. He had to have 3 teeth out, including a permanent teeth, all abscessed, and he is on the way to recovery. So this is my summary slide. I realize this isn't quite a summary, but anyways, this is my last slide. And our goal at the Caroline Children's Dental Program is to improve the health of all the Caroline kids, oral health of all the Caroline kids. And so in addition to treating the individual child, we do our best to get out into the community to do community outreach. We go into the schools when we can. We go to some school fairs. We visit the larger daycares to provide education to parents and to kids. We participate on the School Health Advisory Board. I think you probably all will be relieved, because I think everyone here was here in 2013. I don't really see anyone new. That you might be relieved to know that our patient is currently stable and it's doing well, so I'm not here to ask you for any money or anything like that. So, but I would appreciate help in reaching the kids in the county, so especially the very young and the teens. I showed you the data. So if there are, in your daily work, and if you're meeting with parents and kids, if you can put in a word about the importance of them getting to the dentist, I think that would be a really good thing. Because again, for me, it's this 1,700, I don't know what happened to the slide. Did it just go out? Well, it's just like the last few things, but it's okay. So to me, the statistic that always stands out is that one that I'm going to say again, that there are about 1,700 kids in the county who are not having any dental care despite having full insurance. We are a busy clinic, but we have the capacity to see more kids. This is not 2003 anymore. There are other dentists in the area. There's a dentist up in Ladysmith. There are large clinics up in Fredericksburg and just south of here that see children. So the issue is not that there's not enough dentists. The issue is how do we reach the kids and get them into the care. For the future, I hope that we may see some expansion, perhaps an additional dental room. I don't know if Mr. Cully, if you know anything about what's going on. We heard the health department might be needing to shrink their size in the building, and if they need to shrink, we'd like to take over a little bit more space. We only have 2 chairs, and it would be great to have 3 chairs. So again, that's all I had to say. I really appreciate the chance to talk to you and thank the county for all they do for the kids and for our program. And if you have any questions or comments, be happy to answer them.
Well, and I don't know if board members have questions or not, but first of all, I would like to say on behalf of the board, thank you for the service that you're providing.
Thank you.
Certainly, we too are concerned about the percentage of young people who may not be getting the service that they need. I guess the question that I would have is, I don't know, do you go into the schools? Are you privy to go into the schools to look at young people, to give them an opportunity to come to you? I know one of the problems is, children typically don't like to go to the dentist. It's just kids, But I was just wondering if your visits into the schools, or if you do that in the schools, is that a means for you to maybe see more young people?
Well, one of the things that we do is at the beginning of every school year, we send out flyers about the program to all of the children in elementary and I think also in middle school. So we do send out a flyer to all the parents. It goes out with the school packages in the beginning, and then the parents just have to contact us or fill out some paperwork, and we can start to bring their child to the clinic.
Okay.
We don't actually treat the child in the school because our facilities
don't allow.
But our facilities are a fixed facility in the health department with our equipment and our chairs and everything. But it's very easy for us to get the child. The driver goes to every single school, so I don't really think it's an access problem. We haven't done screenings in the school yet. I've thought about it, and then it seems like we get busy and we don't do it. But it's something that I may consider doing this year, now that we're kind of on solid footing again, especially like the preschool and
that's what I was thinking, something on a screening type of.
Yeah. Nancy Cole, Dr. Cole used to do that. I have not done that yet, but it's not something, it's something that floats in the back of my brain.
And that might be a means of identifying students who